You cannot ignore your emotional past pain in your spiritual journey. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the emotional past pain and why you haven't been able to process that and what emotional past pain actually is. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina and I help empower people on their spiritual and healing journey so they can live a more fulfilling and purposeful driven life. Don't forget to do all those wonderful things like hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so then you're notified of when I post a video, because it could be that one video that could change your life. So with that being said, let's dive in. When we first awaken from the illusion of this reality that we live in, the 3D reality matrix, we begin to raise our frequency. Our consciousness begins to expand. So when we are raising our vibration, we're elevated up into higher states of positive emotions. And so then we try to ignore all these heavier, denser emotions that keep us bound to lower states of consciousness. And so when we begin to awaken, when we begin to be our natural state, which is one of love, joy, peace, our natural state is unconditional love from the divine God, because we are a fractal of God. So our natural state are these high vibrational emotions, or frequencies, if you want to call it that. And this means when we incarnate here on this earth in this physical reality, we get traumatized, especially that it's an inverted matrix. So it's designed purposely to traumatize humanity, to keep us trapped in lower states of consciousness, lower, heavier emotions. So when we have experienced those emotions, it gets stuck in our bodies. And emotions are energy in motion. And this means each emotion that we feel has its own energy, its own frequency that's actually moving through the body. And so when we experience something traumatic or we go through a difficult situation and we experience a dense, heavy emotion, what happens is usually the body has not had the capacity or the tools or knowledge to be able to process that emotion and allow it to flow through them. And often what happens is the body will trigger its survival mechanism and then push away that emotion, and so then it can survive. So what happens then is that usually the energy of the emotion hasn't been able to process, so the emotion becomes stagnant in the body. It becomes stuck, and that means we are holding on to this, and then we identify through the ego with our emotional past pain. The ego attaches onto that emotion, that experience. So in our spiritual awakening, the process we have to go through is beginning to let go and allow those emotions to come up in order to be witnessed, and then we can ascend further into higher vibrational emotions. Because when we allow an emotion to come up and just be, it flows through us with ease. And then that gives us the capacity, the space to bring in higher vibrational frequencies. We naturally ascend through the scale of consciousness, if that's what you refer to, or ascend into higher vibrational emotions, the positive emotions, because we've naturally let those denser, heavy emotions flow through us, so then we naturally move our way up. And what often can happen is people tend to bypass their emotions in order to just be with the higher vibrational emotions, because it's dense, it's heavy, and people find it hard to face their past pain, which I can understand. It's hard to deal with heavier, dense emotions, and when our natural state is unconditional love. So when I began to wake up and I went through my spiritual awakening, I dove straight into shadow work. I just felt this urge, this calling to face my wounds and deal with my shit and actually heal my inner child. And there were times where I would find all of a sudden an emotion come up, or a past memory, something came up that I didn't necessarily want to face, and it just kept coming up day after day after day. And then I said, enough is enough. I have to face this. So what I did, I went and sat in meditation, and I meditated on what I was feeling, and I was getting into my body and allowing myself to experience what needed to be felt. And then after, I journaled for some time to help process that even further and see what was actually needing to come through, and allowing all that energy from that emotion to be seen and witnessed through the process of journaling, because we allow ourselves, we give ourselves the capacity to feel and release emotions when we journal. And that's why often we can feel very much lighter after we've journaled or got something off our chest, whether that's with journaling or whether that's with somebody and just ranting and just venting to somebody. We feel a ton better. So this is just something that I do when I feel an emotion needs to be felt and witnessed. I go and journal. And still now though, I do find myself sometimes feeling like, am I trying to bypass this? Am I trying to not witness what's going on in my body, what the stagnant energy is doing to my body? Am I just pushing through pain? Because often when we try to ignore emotional past pain that the body has held on to, what this can do is actually manifest into physical symptoms, because this is actual physical energy, because it's energy in motion. And when we try to suppress it and not witness it, not feel it, the body holds on to this. And especially when it's the nervous system that hasn't been able to come back into a balanced and regulated state, because it didn't have the tools and the knowledge to be able to process that when you were a child, when this traumatic thing happened to you, or even in your later years. So this means, because we are holding on to this, it can manifest things. It can manifest more trauma, it can manifest pain, because even if we believe we've healed, or we're thinking, why am I still getting triggered? What's happening is the body and the subconscious is still holding on to this stagnant energy within the body. And this is because we try to bypass and ignore and ascend into higher states of consciousness. But unfortunately, we cannot get into higher vibrational emotions unless the lower ones have been released. We don't have the capacity to open up and allow the frequency of unconditional love to come through. So when we are holding this in the body and the subconscious mind, we are still giving off the frequency. We are still vibrating at a frequency that is a low vibration, a lower, heavier, dense emotion, if that's how you would describe it. And so this means we will always be reflected back to us scenarios, life situations, people popping up in our life that will tell us, well, you haven't healed this. You are still holding on to this emotional past pain because you haven't allowed the emotion to flow through you and be witnessed. And it will keep showing you, well, you haven't healed here, you haven't healed here. Like, this is like your ego or your body telling you that you haven't healed. And then what will happen is then something will blow up in your face to tell you that you are still holding on to this energy that is keeping you stuck in low vibration. So it's not about being all love and light all the time, just being at these high ascended emotions, because you're not seeing your human experience and embracing all those emotions that we get to have in this human experience as well. And when we just allow our emotions to be there, they flow through us, and then we feel lighter. We start to ascend into higher states of emotions, more positive emotions. So it's not just thinking, oh, I'm feeling shit today. Well, just think of 3 things you're grateful for, or just get in a positive mindset. We are holding so much pain that we are finding it hard to release. And it's about letting that emotion be released in order to really have the capacity to withhold unconditional love and peace and joy, excitement. And if you're somebody that has tried some healing modalities, or you've done those inner child meditations, you've kind of done a bit of reading, but you're finding it's not going deep enough, and you're looking for something else that will hit the spot and give you that deep understanding and tools and knowledge to finally release the emotion and heal your inner child. On the 16th of June, which is this coming Friday, I am running an inner child healing workshop. In this workshop, you'll be learning tools and practices to help you reconnect to your inner child and begin to go on your healing journey. This workshop is for beginners, for people that are on their spiritual awakening journey already and they just need to go that little bit deeper, because in this workshop we'll be talking about how the child forms its sense of self, how wounds are picked up, and we'll be talking about the ego and its attachments and the emotional past pain. So we are going to go deep, and there'll be moments for self-reflection, journaling, and at the end I'll be doing a guided meditation to help you go deep into your subconscious and meet your inner child. So this workshop will help you to feel lighter by the end of it. It'll help you to feel more at peace rather than living from your emotional past pain and holding on to the energy that is keeping you stuck and stagnated in your spiritual journey. So if you feel called to, click the link in the pinned comment below, and I will see you on the 16th. There's only 2 days left, and I'm planning to not do this workshop again. So this may be your only chance to go deep and heal your wounds. So with that being said, I will see you on the next video. Much love.